Namaste everyone, I'm Viriam and I wanted to share with you a self-massage sequence. So very simple, working through the whole body, just getting rid of toxins, getting energy moving. Um, it's great for relaxation, you know, getting into all the muscles, all those places of tension where we've been holding on, maybe where we've been sitting at a computer too long, quite often sitting at a computer too long. And the majority of the self-massage sequence is going to use just our hands, our thumbs, and the kind of blade of our forearm. But there will be a little section where we use tennis balls. So 2 tennis balls, that one's already hidden in the sock. So 2 tennis balls in the sock. Yeah. Now we're not going to use it for very long, so if you don't have access to anything like this, then don't worry about it because we'll only be using it for a few minutes. But I just wanted to show you a few techniques. Sorry, tying up the sock, yeah, so that then the 2 tennis balls are kind of together, fused together slightly, yeah. And what we'll do mostly, we're going to do a little bit of work around the glutes with the 2 tennis balls, but also we can place it under the spine, and you'll see that there's an indent between the 2 tennis balls, so that kind of goes over the bony part of the spine, and then the tennis balls can go into the 2 muscles that go either side, the erector spinate muscles, so that's great. So, but we'll only be using it for a little bit, so don't worry too much if you don't have it. And then I just wanted to introduce, this seems like it's going to get complicated, but actually the majority of it is going to be just with our hands and forearms. But I also have this ball. Now, probably most of you won't have one of these, but I would really recommend getting something like this. I really like using it behind the back of my head, into my neck, because I find whether it's the length of my neck, the shape of my head, whatever, the tennis balls just slip out. Yeah. So I've got something like this, as you'll see, it's got like little spikes on it, but it's quite soft. Yeah. So I'll show you how to use that when the time comes back. Most of this is just based on Ayurvedic techniques, quite a nice Ayurvedic head massage, but also inspired by Thai massage. So I'm mostly trained in Ayurvedic techniques and Ayurvedic massage, but really the roots of Ayurvedic medicine and massage and Thai medicine and massage they're from the same root. Yeah, so we'll use a little bit more inspiration from Thai massage because it's a fully clothed massage. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to change the camera angle so that you can see me clearly. So just give me a little minute. Great, and then I'll just shift back onto my yoga mat. Obviously you don't need a yoga mat for this, but it's habit to be sat on a yoga mat. Okay, now such a simple technique, and it's using the flow of our body. Yeah, so it's that we don't want to put too much pressure on our hands or our thumbs, so we're really working with a rocking like movement. So this is very much, if you've ever had a Thai massage, or you give Thai massage, you'll notice that the Thai therapist is always moving, always rocking, so they're using their body weight and they're using the flow, the momentum of the movement rather than kind of the exertion of their thumbs or their hands. So it makes it, I mean, it's a little bit of a workout. It kind of frees up any tension in your hips and pelvis, but it just takes the exertion out of the massage. And you don't want your self massage to be a process of exertion because you want to relax. So if you feel equally as tired afterwards from giving rather than just surrendering to it, then it's not really going to work. So I'll just show it you on one leg first, so you can just have a little go. We will start the sequence on the sole of the foot, but let's just start on the thigh. So I'm just going to use the flat of my hand, but really only using maybe even the first third of the palm, so the heel of the palm, yeah? And I'm going to have my fingers pointing away from my body, and I'm going to work down the midline of the thigh, and I'm just moving down from the groin or the inner thigh down towards the knee. Now I'm not going to go onto the knee, I don't want to put pressure on the knee joint, but I'm just working along the tissues or along the muscles. and you'll see this rocking movement. Yeah, so you could have a hand by the side. I find that a bit awkward. I think my arms just aren't so long. Yeah, so I prefer to have my hand in front. Yeah, and just coming into the tissues, it's like they're inviting you in. Yeah, but always with this rocking movement. So just rock and gently press. Okay, so that's the principle of the movement. And so we'll start to work on the foot. Okay, so just working on the sole of the foot first. We could just have a few strokes just to introduce the touch to the body. And then we want to work on this point here. So hopefully you can kind of see that. I've been walking around barefoot today, so you might be able to tell. So you've got your heel, and then at the top of the heel or the bottom of the arch, right in the center, that's going to be our starting point, because it's a nice point for grounding in acupressure or reflexology. Okay, so one thumb on top of the other, and then just gently, see the rolling movement or the rocking movement, just gently pressing into that grounding point on the foot. And you don't have to dig in that much with your thumbs. You're not pushing as such, because your body weight is just guiding you. Yeah, so that's good. Hopefully fully grounded. And then we're just going to work up 3 lines in the foot. So working along the inside arch, and with this one we can go all the way up to the big toe. Then we'll just work along the middle of the foot. You don't need to go to the toes for that. And then we'll work along the outside arch of the foot. Okay, so same principle, one thumb on top of the other and rocking. So we're up the inside arch of the foot, all the way up into the big toe, and then the middle of the foot. So just working the midline into the ball of the foot, and then the outside edge. And then we'll do the outside edge again. Let's just do 2 lines on each, and then come back to the middle. Sometimes I get a bit carried away and just do more. And now the inside edge of the foot. Okay, all the way up through the ball of the foot and all the way to the big toe. Okay, and you can always give a little stroke again. So now back to the inner thigh. So using the palm of the hand, fingers away from the body, and just start to work along the midline, using the heel of the hand and just gently rocking. So you're not really pushing in with the hand. It shouldn't have any impact on your wrist. Yeah. So just a nice rocking movement. Obviously we've done this leg a little bit already in our practice. Just do one more round. As I said, not going on to the knee joint. Yeah. Now let's work with the blade of the forearm. See how that feels. Yeah. So again, same principle. Just rocking and just gently pressing the blade of the forearm into the tissues. Yeah. It's just going to be ironing out the muscles, and we're really working at getting lymph moving. If you want to look at it in terms of energetics, we're getting prana moving, energy moving. So it's going to help our blood flow, it's going to help detoxification with the lymph. Talking of the lymph, let's come and bring the blade of the arm as close to the groin as we can and just press in a few times. So there's a technique in Thai massage where they actually kind of rest here for a moment. But I think for now, it's okay if we just rock backwards and forwards. Yeah. Great. Now, if you're brave, you can try using the elbow, yeah, just along the midline again. This can be obviously a bit more intense. So we're working, they call them sen lines in Thailand, but similar to Chinese meridian lines. Or obviously we have the nadis in yoga and Ayurveda. So these energy lines in the body. So this is quite a popular one. If you've ever had Thai massage, then they often work this line. And in Ayurvedic massage, they will work this line, but they'll tend to do it with a one long stroke, because it's an oil-based massage. Okay, great. So let's turn our attention to the calf. So with the calf, we can just kind of squeeze and roll. So again, the action's really happening in the heel of the hand, and the tips of the fingers are just there for guidance. So you're bringing the heel of the hand towards the fingertips. Yeah. I'm still, all of the movements really involve this rocking. So just kind of squeezing and rolling the tissues up and towards your fingertips. Nice. Do that once more. And then we want to work this line. So we're going to block the foot with the opposite foot. And you can take one hand and you're kind of hooking around. So you find the shin bone and then come from the shin bone a bit deeper. So you're into the muscle and then just pulling back towards you this time. So pulling the tissues back towards you. Yeah. And you might even want to use two hands for this. So I quite like doing it with two. Depends on the size of your hands, I suppose. So again, just drawing the tissues towards us. And let's just do that one more time. Great. So bringing the foot flat now, we're going to work again along the muscles kind of either side of the shin bone. Yeah. So we're going to interlace the fingers, and again we're using the heel of the hand and we're just kind of squeezing all the way from just below the knee all the way down. So you're getting into the muscles, both sides of the shin bone. Yeah. Okay, now let's work the back line of the calf on the midline of the calf muscle. Same as we did with the elbow in a way, but this time using the fingers for guidance and the thumb in the back. Yeah. So if I just do that, you'll see just for a second. So my thumbs are just pressing in, coming down the back, but the fingers are really just there for guidance or support. Yeah. And still this gentle rocking movement. Okay. Then we'll take that leg behind us if you're comfortable like that. Now some people can do this with the blade of their forearm. I find that quite awkward. I don't think I'm quite long enough in the body, or I'm quite long in the body and short in the arms, one of the two. So I'm going to do it with the heel of my hand again. So just coming down the outside edge of the leg now. So just working in lines up and down, kind of each side of the leg, I suppose, just to get into every muscle. So just wringing out the muscles. You can imagine it like a sponge, really, that as you massage, you're just working the tissues, the fascia, the muscles, like a sponge, so that you wring out any toxins and you get blood flowing. Simple as that. Okay, so one leg done. But let's just, very classic massage tool, beating and pummeling. So let's start on the outside edge. We'll just come down the outside edge of the top of the leg and down the lower leg. You can take a few moments to bash the sole of the foot. I'm sure bash isn't a technical term. And then both palms and both fists again up the inside of the leg. And then just a little bit in the groin. Okay, let's do that again. We'll use these beating and pummeling techniques again later on, but let's do the other leg. Okay, so you can just introduce yourself to the other foot. And then we're going to come into that grounding point, that acupressure point at where the arch meets the ball of, where the arch meets the heel of the foot. Yeah, and just using the thumbs. And getting back into that rocking movement. And then we'll work along the inside of the arch. So just working along the inside of the arch, all the way to the big toe. Then the middle line, just up into the ball of the foot. And then the outside edge. Again to the ball of the foot. Do that outside line one more time. Then the midline. And then the inner arch. And you might want to repeat that inner arch line a few times for yourself. Onto the inside of the thigh. Okay, so turning your hand so your fingers are pointing away from the body and working along the midline of the thigh, or the inner thigh. Really pressing in very gently with, with pressure, but you don't have to exert yourself, with the heel of the hand. Okay. Using the blade of the forearm, you can come along. And this can become very meditative. I mean, you could do this sat in front of the television, but it'd be quite nice just to give yourself actually a reset and a kind of switch off time. So probably best not to do it in front of the television. Don't absorb all of that stuff when you're trying to give back to yourself. So maybe put on some nice music. You can always have a nice cup of herbal tea. So just working with the blade of the forearm, and then just come into the groin and just repeat in that one spot in the groin for a moment. If you're comfortable with it, you can then use the elbow. So just coming again along that line. And you might notice that one leg is more sensitive than the other. That's pretty common. We hold ourselves in different ways. It might be postural or it might be energetic, where we're holding on to something. And one more for luck. Okay, so coming to the calf. So again, using the kind of heel of the hand, or that lower third of the hand, and bringing it up towards the fingertips. So squeezing the tissues towards the fingertips. And my thumb's not really doing anything, it's just kind of guiding. So as I said, this process can be quite detoxing. So whenever you've had a massage, even if you're just doing self-massage, drink lots of water afterwards. Keep the kind of detoxification process going, flushing out. Okay, and then the other way. Yeah, so the other way, we're going to block the ankle with the opposite foot. We're going to take hold, running just past the shin bone and into the muscle on the other side. And then we're just going to pull the tissues towards us. So we're just kind of hooking in to the tissues and just gently pulling them. And as I said, I quite like doing it with both hands. So you can have both hands next to each other, or kind of one on top of the other as a guide. Gives a little bit more pressure. I'll do that one more time. I'm probably not doing them equal on both legs. I'm not counting, but it'll be pretty close. Okay, so then we want to work the out. Oh no, we're going to work the shin. So working along the muscles running either side of the shin, interlacing the fingers and using the heel of the hand and squeezing. So just squeezing along the shin, well, either side of the shin. Let the shin be the guide with the interlaced fingers. And once more. And then we work the back of the calf, so along here. So let's turn around a little bit so you can see. So we're going down, one thumb on top of the other, down the middle of the calf muscle. Use both hands to guide you, but you're not really using the fingers to squeeze or to put any pressure. All of the pressure is coming through the thumbs in the back, but just using that rocking movement to give you the momentum. And one more of those. Okay, so now we work the outside edge of the leg. Again, you can do it with the blade of the forearm if you like, or I'm just doing it with the heel of the hand again. Okay, nice. And then the beating and pummeling, yeah? So both fists can start at the hip, at the side of the buttocks, and then down the outside edge of the leg, all the way to the sole of the foot, tapping on the sole of the foot, and then up the inside of the leg, and then once more. From the buttocks down, outside edge of the leg, sole of the foot, and then up. Nice, cool. So now we want to get kind of into the buttocks, which isn't so easy with the hands. Oh, I'm just going to move those right out of the way, actually. Okay. So we'll be using the tennis balls, if you have them, in a moment. So have those to hand. But first off, we're going to just work around the buttocks, the top of the buttocks, with the fists. Now, just give it a go. Just see how it feels. I find that it can be a little bit uncomfortable on my hands. So I'll show it you with fists, and then I'll show it you with flat hands. Okay. So just taking the fist, you can bend the knees, feet are flat. Just lift the pelvis up slightly. Bring the hands under the buttocks, and then all you're doing is like a windscreen wiper with the legs, which I can do for a couple of times, but then my hands start to feel uncomfortable, so then I'm just going to flatten my palms. And even though now it's really just working on, you know, the pressure of the buttocks onto my backs of my hands and my wrists, it still gets a little bit of movement going, yeah? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the tennis balls. You've got the two tennis balls secured with the sock that's tied, yeah? And then you're going to place one tennis ball. I'll do it this way around so that you can see that end. We're going to take one tennis ball and just place it under the buttocks towards the hip, yeah? But you've got one tennis ball, so one tennis ball's underneath your body and the other one is out, and it's there for stability basically, so it just doesn't roll away, yeah? Then I'll just bring one arm up out of the way so you can see. You're literally just circling through the hip joint, and obviously that's going to exert a little bit of pressure into the buttocks. You'll find some sensitive spots there, no doubt. Okay, but just nice. Okay, and then you can just come and just bring both feet off the floor, but you're at an angle, yeah? Now, if you were doing this without the tennis balls, because you can still do this as a movement, then just bring your knees in towards your chest. But even if you didn't have the tennis balls, you could still do that hip mobility, Yeah. And then bring the knees up towards your chest and bring them down towards the ground. So you're rolling over. You'll still feel that now the tennis ball that was on the outside of your body is now underneath your body, and the tennis ball that was underneath your body is now outside the body, if that makes sense. And just stretch the opposite arm either above the head or out to the side. And you won't see as well on this side. You'll see it more when I do the other side. Yeah. You can just stroke the rib cage. So just tune into your breath for a moment and just stroking through the rib cage. So just stroke through the rib cage. Just to introduce touch. You don't want to put much pressure on the ribs. So it's just encouraging touch. You know, when we touch the body, it brings attention, awareness to that body, part of the body. So we're just breathing in to the ribs, kind of encouraging them to open. And then with that hand again, come in. I'm just going to have my arm up, but you can just keep your arm down on the ground. We're just going to massage in here. So just massaging from the chest into the top of the arm. How nice is that? That tends to be an area that gets very tight with all of the sitting at computers. Okay, so just massaging in there. Okay, and then just relax it down. And then you can also just press into the armpit. So again, just as the inner groin, the inside of the thigh has a lot of lymph nodes, so does the armpit. So lymph tends to collect in the lymph nodes, in the groin, in the armpit. So just pressing into the armpit. Okay. And then you can just roll back. And of course, we'll do the other side. So taking the tennis balls, placing it under the other side. One tennis ball under the body, the other one will be outside of the body. Draw your knee into the chest, circle through the hip joint, get a little bit of mobility. It's quite nice. And obviously it's working into the glutes, into the buttock muscles. A couple more rounds. And then we'll just draw both knees in, but they're at an angle. Yeah. So you've got a little bit more pressure on the tennis balls now. You'll probably feel that. Then draw the knees up towards your chest and draw them down to the ground. Oh, we've got too many things in the way. Just move those out of the way. Sorry about that. And then you can either stretch your arm up above the head or out to the side. Again, taking your hand and just gently stroking the rib cage on that open side. And just tune into your breath and just encouraging, almost like you're encouraging the lungs to spiral out on that side. You're encouraging the ribs to open. So you just create a bit more space. Okay. And then massaging this area. You can really just do that kind of with a squeezing. This time you are squeezing with your fingers as well as the heel of your hand. As I said, this gets such a lot of, it's so tense in here generally, and it can really help to ease up the back of the neck and shoulders if we massage this front part. Okay. And then just using the fingers and just pressing in to the armpit for the lymph, just getting stuff moving. Okay, and then you can just come back to center. Now, as I said, we won't do so much with these tennis balls under the back, but it can be a really effective way of getting into the muscles running along either side of the spine and into the erector spinae muscles. So you can place it anywhere you like under the back. So I'm going to start kind of around the sacrum. You know, I tend to get a lot of tension from sitting. Now, some people will roll, and that's okay. That might be nice. Or you can just rest and just take a moment to rest. And I'm just going to show you this briefly as in placement, and then you can always take your time to do this. Okay. So I'm just going to move them up now. So I'm just moving them up now, kind of just further up. Oh. And I'll just have my hands up just so that you can probably see the tennis balls. You might not be able to. Don't need to keep your arms up. And again, some people now would roll on them. I find that quite challenging. So just see what feels right for you. And then I'm just going to lift up, and I'm just going to place it in one more position just so that you can see. But as I said, I don't really want to share this so much today. Okay. Okay. So that's how you could work with the tennis balls. Okay. Okay. And while I'm here, I suppose I will show you the other ball. So this is the softer ball. And what I like to do with this, although it's going to be a bit awkward here, in fact, I'm going to turn around so that I can show you with the legs. Okay, so taking the softer ball, placing it kind of at the base of the skull. Yeah, and as I said, all skulls and heads and necks are not created equal, so I can't do this with the tennis ball, but it just creates a little bit of traction with the neck, which I really need. Okay, so you could just rest like this, or I like to do this on windscreen wiper the legs. So I'm moving them to the right first. So I'm going to exhale the knees to the right, inhale center, and just tuck the navel in slightly as you do that. Protects the lower back. And then exhale. I'm exhaling to the left. And then inhale again, just drawing the navel in towards the spine just a little bit to protect the lower back. Exhaling, coming back to center. And then I'm just going to draw my head in the opposite direction to my knees. So my knees are now going to the left and my head's going to the right. Back to center. And then the opposite way. Back to center. Opposite side. So I just really like this. This is one of I add this to most of my daily practices. So whether I'm doing an asana practice or whether I'm doing a massage practice, I will usually add this in. But as I said, I found it quite challenging to do it with the tennis balls, so you can experiment with that. Okay, so come sitting up. And we'll just use the beating and pummeling technique now across the whole body, really to integrate we work the legs and the spine. We've had a bit of a twist through the side body. So now let's integrate the whole body. Okay. So we're going to make a fist with the hand, and we're going to start. Let's all take the right hand, right fist, and to the left shoulder. Okay. And then just gently pummeling the left shoulder. And you could probably stay here for quite a while. We tend to hold a lot of tension in this area in the trapezius, so you could stay there a little while. But now just extend your left arm and then just work down the left arm to the back of the hand, then turn your arm over, work the palm of the hand, and then up the inside of the arm into the armpit again. As we said, it's great for detoxing, clearing out lymph. And then we can use both fists as we come down the side of the body with a bit of percussion. It's going to affect your voice, and then come down the outside edge of the leg all the way to the sole of the foot, up the inside of the leg. Now when you come across the body, you can just go soft. You're just tapping. You don't want to exert too much pressure on the front of the body. And then you're now with the left fist on the right shoulder, and just give that some attention. And then extending your right arm and down the right arm to the back of the hand, then to the palm of the hand, up the inside of the arm, into the armpit. Both fists down the side of the body, down the side of the leg, sole of the foot, up the inside of the leg. I'm moving around, obviously, just so you can see, you don't have to. And then softly across the diagonal of the body, and then again, back of the left side of the trapezius, down the left arm, palm of the hand, coming out the inside of the arm, into the armpit, down the side of the body, up the inside, softly across the diagonal of the body, and then left hand to the right traps, down the right arm, palm of the hand, up the inside of the arm, down the side of the body with both hands, down the side of the leg, up the inside, and softly once more across the body. Okay, staying with the fists, I'm just going to turn around so you can see. We're just going to come into where the kidneys are, which is just above the bottom rib, and just giving a pummeling to the kidneys. And you can work either side of the lower spine, again just getting the energy moving. And then, nice. You can come, keep the fists going, and this time let's just get a little bit of movement going again, that rocking movement again, kind of a side to side shift. So just inhaling left, exhaling right, and just taking both fists round, again at that kidney level. So inhale left, exhale right. Nice, and come back to center. So we'll make beaks with the hands. So all of the fingertips are coming together and the thumb, so like a beak shape, yeah. And then we're coming up, it's maybe like 2 inches, 2.5 inches, basically above the nipple into the chest. And these are timeless taps, so just start to tap with the tips of your fingers, but they're all closely packed together. Take a breath in. Exhale through the mouth. Breathe in. Exhale through the mouth. One more time. Great. And you can just relax now, just for a second. Yeah, just for a little moment. Relax with the backs of the hands on the knees, palms of the hands to the sky. And just feel the energy in your body. Maybe it's dancing a little bit after all the tapping. And we're just having a little pause. We're going to continue. But it's just quite nice to just take a little moment to tune in to how your body feels right now. Okay, so you can slowly open your eyes and we'll start to work the arms. Okay, so leaning onto one leg for support. Now you can, if you don't want to lean as far, you can bring your knee higher, yeah, but you want to, you can work with the hand again, like you did on the calf. So bringing the fingertips are there essentially to guide you. I just prefer doing it like this, it feels more stable. And then you're just using the heel of the hand, just pushing. That's really quite nice. You can do that on the inside of the arm, yeah. But you might even want to do that with the blade of your arm. In fact, it's really nice. It's almost like the arms were made for this. So then you're just coming down with the blade of the arm, just trying to move my arm down so you can see. You might notice that my fingers curl in towards the palm as I do this. So it's so good for the wrists, for kind of maybe RSI, working at the computer, all of that kind of stuff. And you might notice that you can just do it with the blade, but you can also roll. Okay, so just rolling the forearm. It's great. That's so nice. Don't forget the outside part of the arm. So again, you can do that. There's not so much flesh on the outside of the arm. So you can do that with that squeezing technique, or again, just with the blade of the opposite forearm. Okay, and then to the hands, you can just stretch your arm out ahead of you and just take hold of the fingers and just stretch them back very gently. Nice. And then just taking your fingers into, well, you can just do it. You can rest your hand down again and just kind of into those bits between all of the joints of the hand. Yeah, so just with your thumb. There's not much to do, there's not much where you use a full stroke in this, because we're usually using pressure points, but it's quite nice, and generally there's a bit of moisture in the hands, yeah, so that's nice. Great. Then you can just use your knuckles and just press into the palm of your hand as well. And just give the hand a little shake. And then, of course, you want to do the top of the arm. So you can have your arm by the side with the palm flat to the ground, or I quite like doing it just resting on my thigh. Then again, just this movement. So using the heel of the hand and just pushing towards the fingers. The fingers aren't gripping. Yeah, they're just there to guide, and just moving. Again, I'm back to this rolling movement. And then using the fingers to hook around like you did on the calf, and just coming around to the back of the arm, so to the tricep, and just drawing it, the tissues towards you. Okay, other side. Okay. So working on the inside of the arm first, you can work with the squeezing technique with the opposite hand. Or with the blade of the arm. Just try and do that at an angle again so that you can see. And then you could even roll it. So you can even just roll it. You'll notice my fingers curl in towards the palm of my hand as I do this. It's just really good for the wrist, good for anyone suffering from RSI or anything. Yeah. Working on the top part of the arm, again, you can just squeeze. Using the blade of the forearm again. Working the hand, stretch the arm out ahead of you, just pull the fingers towards you. And then you can use your thumb just to do a few strokes between all the little joints in the hand, leading up to the gap between each finger. It's just going to be really nice. So I might do that one more time. And then just using your knuckles into the palm of the hand. Again, you can just shake the hand. I'm just going to place my hand on the thigh in order to work the top of the arm. So first I'm just taking the tissues with the heel of my hand, kind of pushing them away from my body, if you see what I mean. I'm sure there's a technical term for that. A few more. And then you can use the fingers to hook around and just drawing the tissues back towards your body. So coming from the triceps and round. That's really nice. It's probably an area of the body we don't touch so much, is this kind of outside edge of the arm or the triceps. Okay. And then just come back to sitting and just shake the arms out. So just give the arms a little shake. And then it might be quite nice just to do a little twist before we start to work into the neck. So just taking your, no, it's not a big yogic twist, it's just really for the breath, okay? So just take your right hand to the left knee, your left hand just comes behind you, but you don't need to go into a full twist. Keep both sides of your sitting bones of your pelvis to the ground, to the earth, and just stretching up, reaching up through, and just purse the lips and just drink in the breath to the left. So a nice cooling breath in and exhale through the nose. Come back to center. Take your left hand to the right knee, right arm behind you. Just gently opening, feeling the buttock on the left side still, earth to the ground. And feel as if you're growing nice through to the crown of the head in a gentle twist. This really isn't a deep twist. Nice sip of air through pursed lips. And exhale through the nose. And come back to center. Okay. So now we're going to work the back of the neck. So we want to interlace the fingers. And again, like we did along the front of the shin, essentially, we're just using the heel of the hand, yeah? So we're going to bring the hands behind the neck and then just squeezing in with the heel of the hand all the way. I quite like to go up into the base of the skull a little bit, that's quite nice. It's where I tend to hold my tension, so we'll work there a little bit more in a minute. Okay. In fact, while you're here, you can see how it feels. You can just, this is a bit weird to try and show, or you're going to keep the hands as they are, and you're just kind of almost circling. You're not really, you're trying to kind of circle this part of the hand. Okay, so this outer part of the hand into the base of the skull. So just see if you can get in there. This really, really, in fact, this is probably, when I was learning Ayurvedic head massage and kind of an Ayurvedic beauty treatments in Kerala many years ago, so like 2005, I think. This was the move that I treasured the most. So staying with this part of the hand, which is this kind of outer quadrant of the hand, it's not even, maybe it's an eighth of the hand, this bit. Yeah, and we're just going to take that and find the hairline, come under the skull and just very gently pushing up slightly and just circling with that part. Now this takes quite a bit of practice, but as I said, I've been doing it since 2005 and it's just one of my favorite moves, probably because I hold so much tension in this area. Then you can work towards the center a little bit. Okay, and then with the other hand doing the same. Hopefully you can kind of see this. It's not really very easy to show. So it's more the theory of it, I suppose. Yeah. So you're using that part and coming up into essentially where the base of the skull meets the neck. And you can just work around that. And as I said, it does take a bit of practice. Yeah. So you can also just use your thumbs, but you know, your thumbs get tired quicker than the heel of your hand, but you can also run your thumbs in circles. So I'm circling the thumbs in that area where the head meets the neck, the suboccipital area. Okay, great. So that's warmed up the neck. So now we're going to make a hook with the fingers. Yeah, so making a hook with the fingers, and we'll go to the opposite trapezius again. So I'm taking my right hand to my left trapezius, and then I'm just going to hook into the muscle. Yeah. So I'll just show you. So I'm just hooking in, yeah, and just get back into that rocking movement. But what I'm going to do, so we're still rocking, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my other hand and just gently push the elbow. And I'm just moving my hooked fingers around, just exploring the back of the trapezius. Yeah. Nice. And then you can come all the way up the side of the neck, or, you know, the side of the vertebral column. So just getting into that groove at the side of the neck, next to the vertebral column, all the way up again. Shake the hands out, and then the other side. So making a hooks with the fingers, so making the hook, coming into the traps, getting your hand and just gently pressing, pushing the elbow. Let's just turn around a little bit. How nice is that? I think this is one of my favourite moves as well. Can't have all the moves being my favourite moves, but it is pretty good. And then coming up the neck, you can even kind of just move your head from side to side, so you have to do even less movement. Okay, great. And then just roll the shoulders a little bit. So just roll the shoulders and then just shake the hands out. Okay. So coming up into the neck, we can just turn the hands over. This is such a classic kind of beauty parlor massage technique, but it works. So just the backs of the fingers, and then just coming along from the collarbone essentially up to the chin. And just anyone that's had a face massage before has had this technique. It's a classic. Yeah, nice. Okay, and then this is great. So just place your hands softly to your face, and then we're going to use our hand to guide the elbow again. And it's just guiding, because all we're going to do is we're going to just soft pressure on the face, and then we're going to turn the face away. Okay, so probably not so attractive on camera, but hey. So hand on the face, you can always bring your fingers either side of the ear, so you get a really nice movement. And then I'm just turning my face to the left because I'm using my right hand. You don't need to talk whilst doing this, obviously. And then one more time. Nice. Other side. So I'm using my left hand to the right side of my face, using my right hand to guide the left elbow, and then just turning my face to the right. Nice to get the fingers around the ears, so then you come kind of across the top of the lip and the bottom of the lip, so you come either side of the mouth. It's quite a nice one. Let's just do one more. Okay, and then you can just cup your chin with your hands, and then just gently moving the tissues up and again. One more time. Okay, and then again, popular of all kind of face massages in beauty parlours, just taking your thumb and index finger and just very gently pinching the eyebrows. And then you can take your index finger and just very gentle around the eye, the bottom of the eye. And then to potement, another classic face massage technique. So just like drops of rain on the face. Just gently, gently tapping the face. Okay, so then we'll come to the head, but I'm just going to shift the camera again so that you can see. So I'm just zooming in for a second. You can have a little sip of tea right now, or give yourself a little stretch. Okay, great. So, classic head massage would simply be, and especially if you've got, let me just get rid of that on my screen. If you've got just short hair, cropped hair, then this is probably the only technique you can work with, which is just, I'm going to take my hair down, which is just the kind of shampooing, yeah? So just shampooing the hair, yeah? So that's very simple. But again, I studied Ayurvedic head massage, so I want to give you a few more techniques, okay? So the first one, and again, this really only works if you've got shortish to long hair. If you've got a crew cut, just stick with the shampooing. So you're going to use the hand and you're going to come in to the scalp with the fingers and the hand, palm of the hand, as flat to the scalp as you can, okay? So you're just coming in. So I'm starting with the fingers and I'm going in as close as I can. And then I'm going to bring the palm of my hand in as well. And then all I'm doing is I'm now going to bring my fingers in and then I'm just squeezing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's really easy. Then coming in another place, 1, 2, 3. So squeezing 1, 2, 3. Do that again at the back, 1, 2, 3. Other side, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And again, 1, 2, 3. You can do it with both hands. Now this is just going to depend on your sensitivity. So I love this. Some people don't. It's as simple as that. 2, 3. You can do it at the front. In fact, I'm just going to do that one more time. That's just really nice. So it's just enlivening the scalp, getting energy moving. Then we're just going to do spider jumps. Yeah. So it's just that you're using this last little bit of the finger. Yeah. So get into the head. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. Actually, you don't even need to count that one. You can just, I'm just moving the hands all over the scalp again. You just can't, with the amount of hair I've got, it's quite hard to see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. You try and do it. I'm going to try and do it with my hand like that, which is going to look very strange. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I should have done that at the beginning. That you can see that quite well now. 1, 2, 3. Easy. Okay. So that's just getting everything moving. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll just rub the palms of the hands together. Just really generate some heat, some warmth. And then just cover the ears. And then rubbing the palms of the hands together again. Cover the eyes. Take a breath in. And exhale. One more time. Cover the eyes. Take a deep breath in. Exhale through the mouth. And just release the hands. And I always like to just do one kind of movement just to integrate the whole process. And also it's quite nice just to, we have been working a little bit, we're receiving self-massage, but we're also giving self-massage. So this is just to, if any tension has built up in the shoulders, just to let that out. So let's come actually sitting on our knees, because unless you're really uncomfortable kneeling, then you can do this sitting. You might want to grab a little cushion and place it in front of you to make the ground a little bit higher, closer, softer. We're going to interlace the fingers. Yeah, so we're interlacing the fingers together, but they're going to be behind the back. And what we're going to do is we're going to inhale, bring the third eye point, the brow of the head to the ground. We're going to exhale up, stick the tongue out. Okay, so inhaling down, third eye point to the earth, exhale up. Inhaling, exhaling. So just find your rhythm with it. So you get a nice stretch in the front of the chest. Gives a bit of mobility in the shoulders. When we exhale over the tongue, just let the face fully relax. So no tension in the face. And as we drop the head to the earth, it's always just a reminder to let go of the mind. So we're just integrating that massage sequence. And one more time. This time make a bit of sound. Okay, great. So that's a nice little, very complete sequence, I think, for self-massage. So enjoy. Practice it regularly. Drink lots of water now. And yeah, namaste.